Welcome back to another episode of Johanna Banana. Aiden, please throw me the recap cap. All right, great. Okay, so thank you all for watching my last episode of Johanna Banana when I took Aiden back to my hometown, Pinole, California. It is a suburb of the San Francisco Bay Area, and I was in East Bayer. As I was filming Johanna Banana and being very open and honest about every feeling, good, bad, yucky, icky, I did feel a little guilty because a lot of people did, they did roll out the red carpet for us, Aiden, and they did really, really cater to us, and thank you. I do appreciate that. What I was going through, and most of you realize, it wasn't anything to do with any of you. It really wasn't. The grief of my dad hit me hard. My eating disorder kicked in to the fullest. But it's so funny because the same feelings that I experienced going back to my hometown were the same feelings that I experienced when I first moved here to Phoenix, Arizona 20 years ago. I had total culture shock. I cried all the time. I called Dad and Barb constantly, and like nothing makes sense. And it was awful. So I think it's kind of funny that when I went back home, I had the same feelings. But I'm very appreciative to everybody that I got to see there. I mean, I love you all, and that was wonderful. I'm going to share some of the feedback that I got from some of my viewers after they watched my Home Again episode. So my childhood friend, I grew up with her, and now she's a wonderful teacher, and hats off to you, girl, on how you do it. Okay, so this is what she said. She says, "Hey girl, I saw your latest episode. I can't imagine how things would feel so different coming back home, or more specifically where you grew up. So much has changed over the years, and it's strange. It's strange when all that you once knew isn't familiar anymore." That was what I think was so disconcerting, is the fact that it didn't feel familiar. Because you know what my dad had always said, and I never understood this, because I was like, Dad, where the freak do people get back together? I never understood that concept. Well, because they're familiar. So familiar feels safe, whether it's good or bad. And I think that is the problem that I was feeling, is that nothing made sense. Just like when I moved here, nothing made sense. I mean, I was just like, what the hell? What, you can't take, they're a big part, you can't take guns into Chuck E. Cheese. I was like, what the hell? Where am I living? Like, it was the same thing. So it's a very disorienting feeling. And she got that. Now, the lady that we stayed with mentioned, because I talked about how I have not found a church, but what I had loved the most and I had forgotten about was the community of church. And so she had mentioned going to like a non-denominational type of church. That's what she had mentioned. And so I thought about that. I still haven't. The problem with me in church is the logistics of the whole thing. I work on Saturdays, okay, and church is always in the morning, and we're not morning people. We tried. I know, we tried, Miss Butterfly. We really did. I did not to knock the Christian Science Church. I loved it. But it was so early in the morning, and I work on Saturdays, so that's what's so hard. But I am thinking about trying to find a church just for the community, aspect of it. Anyways, okay, so that was wonderful feedback that I got from the San Francisco episode. I also want to do some shout-outs. Now, as you know, I was pretty messed up when I went back to my hometown, so I was like forgetting everything, like my sunglasses. Thank you for mailing them back to me. Also, this is so adorable. I have to show you guys this. This is why Deadhead Tina and I are so alike, and this is why I think my dad loved Deadhead Tina so much, is because it was like hanging out with his daughter. Okay, so check this out. This is what she sent me. See? Hello? Look at all the stickers. Look at all the love. Is this not Johanna Banana? And then look at this. Look at this. Look at all these cool stickers. I know. I love you, Deadhead Tina. I just do. Okay, so look at all these stickers that she gave me. Oh my gosh. And this was my favorite one. I have not found any good place to put this.
Oh, yeah.
Fabulous. Thank you. Thank you. And why did she send me this? Why did she send me this? Because I left this. Yes, I left this in her car. It's a picture of my dad at Benihana's. One of the last photos that he took the last time he was in the Bay Area before he retired down to Rio Rico, the border, Nogales, where he's from. And so it was so funny because I didn't know why my dad's former deacon wanted to meet with me so badly. I was like, why does she want to meet with me? And to give me this photo. And then what does Johanna Banana do? Because she's all in her head and absent-minded. I left it in Deadhead Tina's car. So thank you, Deadhead Tina, for returning this to me, sending me this. It's just fabulous. I loved all the stickers, and it screamed you, and it screamed me. Like, I was just like, love you, girl. So thank you. Okay, let's get into the next chapter. Okay, so let's get into the matchmaker. All right. Now, before I went back to before I went to San Francisco, I signed up for a matchmaker. Okay, I did, because after I got dumped by the child, I thought, God damn it, Johanna Banana, you cannot pick out anybody. You cannot. You need help. I really felt like what came to my mind was like, and I don't even speak Spanish, but it was like, ayúdame. I needed help. I really did. I really flippin' did, right? And so anyway, so I thought, okay, let's go professional, right? I am sick of being divorced for 14 years and these men popping in and out of making cameo appearances for just a couple months, leaving. Then I stay single. Yeah, I do. Then I stay single for a year or two to heal from it all and to work on myself and all this shit. And then I go back out there again and the same fucking thing happens. So yeah, you're like, okay, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of it. You're thinking online dating isn't for me. Let's hire a professional, right? That was my thinking. Now, I did some research. Let me tell you guys, it is not cheap. Matchmakers are not cheap, right? But I'm tired of financially being the backer in every relationship. That is a running theme in most of my relationships. It really is. It even started with Aiden's father, okay? The condo that I have, this is my condo. I don't want anybody to ever think that I somehow got everything because I got married. Hell no. No, I did not. I bought this condo on my own dime, and his dad gave me shit for it and didn't think I could afford it. Yeah, your dad did not think that I could afford it on my secretarial salary. But I did. And where did he follow? He just followed me because, he was living with Great Papa at the time. Yeah. So anyway, so I decided I really am looking for an equal partner. I want someone to stand on their fucking own like I have stood on my fucking own the entire time, watching these guys just coming in, making stupid cameo appearances, mooching after me. Okay, so I signed up the matchmaker. Now, when I was staying with my dad's former parishioners in and I'm going to say this because I didn't remember at the time. I was all talking about East Bay, South Bay, and I'm like, where's Monterey? I didn't know the term for that. Thank you, Deadhead Tina. She mentioned Coastal Bay. Okay, so when I was in the Coastal Bay, doesn't that sound so funny? Coastal Bay, like should prefer. When I was in the Coastal Bay, I got a call from my matchmaker. Now, so let me tell you how this matchmaker thing goes, okay? What they do, and they're all different spectrums. You can pay $25,000 to like $1,000, like I did in the very cheap end, okay? It goes from that big a spectrum, okay? So she called me with the introduction, and I don't care about the introduction because I'm about the person, I don't care about looks and stuff like that. I just, please be a fucking adult. Please know how to take a shower. Please have a job. That kind of thing. That's all I care about. And I have not even found that. It sounds ridiculous, but I just haven't found that. So anyways, so I got all excited because she called me and she's giving me my first introduction. I thought the guy was going to call me back. Well, turns out he didn't like the fact I was a liberal. So done with that. Even though he was a so-called independent, which I kind of called the independents the Republican lights is what they call them, just like the Catholics call us the Episcopalian light. That's what I call them. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So I was kind of shocked by that. Okay, whatever. Then the next week, okay, every week this matchmaker called. So then the next week the matchmaker called me and she said she found some guy and he had a really cool name. I can't even remember, but it was like so cool. And I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds fabulous. He wasn't available. Yeah. So I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? You know, I was getting so discouraged. And let me tell you guys, this was over months. I signed up in June, like the beginning of June. And so we're going every week. And one point, this one person called me. She's like, hi, I'm your dating coach. I'm like, I don't need a dating coach. I'm not even in the damn game. You haven't found anybody for me. I have not even gone on a single date. Like I was getting so discouraged by the whole thing. Like I was just like, and here you're paying all this money and you're expecting all these results, right? But they don't have anybody because what you're not thinking is their demographic. This is not the unwashed masses, like my aunt refers to the general public, okay? So they don't have a lot of people like they do online. Online, you go to these online dating apps, it's everybody. It's the whole damn world, all fucked up, looking to be taken care of, looking for the booty,
I really do think they were grasping at straws. Especially with the last one that you...
Yeah, I know. We're going to get into those dates. Yeah, we're going to get into those dates now.
I don't think there was that
great of a... There really isn't that great of a marketplace, And so I was just getting so discouraged. But I finally did get somebody. I finally did go on a date. And so now let's get into my first date that the matchmaker set me up on. Okay, let's get into that. Okay, so I was working over at my other grooming shop because, I'm working at 2 grooming shops right now. So I was working at my other grooming shop when the matchmaker called me yet again to let me know that I had yet another introduction. Now this time I had learned not to get so excited. Miss Butterfly, you know me, I'm the eager beaver. And so I was just trying to like channel KP. KP is always calm and cool and she's like, whatever. And so I was just like, when she called me and she told me about this guy, I was trying to stay really, really calm about it. But I did get a little bit excited because she told me he was Filipino and I'm like, oh, nice. Because we all remember, well, not all of you, but my high school friends that watch this show. You remember my first boyfriend was Japanese, okay? Loved him. Okay, loved him. So I always do try to go back to Asian, and Aiden was like, oh, wow, an Asian guy? I've never seen you with an Asian guy. Well, it's because where we live, Aiden. That's why. And so I got really excited about this guy, right? And so now I still am kind of applying some of my same rules like I did when I was doing the online date. I have to do a phone call, okay? Because you want to make sure you can hold a conversation with this person before you go on a date with this person. I've learned this the hard way. Trust me. I have gone on dates with people and I did not do the phone call screening. Horrible. Horrible. So it's much better to do your first phone introduction. So I did that with him. And remember, Aiden, do you remember the conversation when I gave my disclaimer? Okay, so I have a disclaimer. And now I am going to say something that we've not talked about on Johanna Banana. And so it is going to come out of the disclaimer. A lot of you already know this, so it's nothing new. We just have never said this. So in my disclaimer, and I'm about to tick off my aunt, I'm sorry. I talk about my medical marijuana usage at night, okay? I talk about that, my sleep aid, okay? Then the next thing and these are things that I've had issues in the past with guys, they've had an issue with my drug use. Then of course I get to my son because that's another issue, okay? And so I told him that my son is openly gay, okay? And what did he say, Aiden? Do you remember? Okay, and now he's Filipino, right? But I was, and this is gonna sound so bad, but I wasn't expecting like someone who has just been to our, only lived in our country like a year. Okay, I was not expecting that. So he says, "Oh, oh, okay, okay. He happy?" And the minute that he said he's happy, I flashed on back in my high school days when we watched West Side Story. Yeah, West Side Story. And Natalie Wood was singing happy and gay, and everybody busted out laughing because, it was back in the 90s, everybody was gay practically in the Bay Area. So it was hilarious. That's what I flashed on. I had flashed on that, and I thought, crap, right? And so as he kept talking, and he was talking and talking and talking, and and I could understand him, thick accent, all of this stuff. I'm kind of, I'm feeling like, and this is my problem, is because I love people and I try to give people a chance. I thought I should go on a date with this guy. I was feeling like a stuck up American, Aiden. I really was, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, you like come to this country and you like don't learn the language. Yeah, even though any American in a third world country would probably go and die, okay? But I loved how we get on our high horses, like we think that it's oh so easy for foreigners to come to our country. I love that. So that's where I kind of felt, I felt really like a fucking like American snob. So I'm like, I've got to give this guy a chance because it has to be hard. I can't, I mean, hello, I fell apart just going to San Francisco Bay Area. Can you imagine going to another country and having to learn that language? Yeah, so I go on this date with him, and um, and he's about 10 years older than I am. Okay, which is good because I typically do date men that are in their 50s, and so, but yeah, I don't want to talk to him because my diarrhea mouth and all my pop culture references and stuff. It's like he's not going to be able to keep up with me.
Yeah.
Hello, my own family and friends sometimes can't fucking keep up with me, right? And so I tell him, so what I do, and this is something that my dad taught me a long, long time ago. If you don't know what to say or talk about, people love to talk about themselves. Hello, me. So I asked him, how did you come to this country? How long have you been here? So he ended up telling me all of this stuff. And then I ended up explaining, I decided I better touch base with him again because I wanted to understand that Aiden is a very happy kid, but he's also a homosexual kid. Okay, I wanted to explain this to him. Now, this guy was also very religious. He told me, and that one thing that I just love about people from other countries and other Americans are so isolated, Aiden. We really are. We just stick to it. We're stuck up snobs. We just like stick to ourselves. You talk to anybody from other countries and stuff, and they'll say, "Oh, I have this friend in Norway. I have this friend in this country. I was over here, and this, and you're just like." And we don't even leave the damn. Okay, it's interesting. And the reason why I know this is because my dad and my aunt traveled all over the world. They lived all over the world in different countries. That's why I have a lot of respect for people that come to our country and try to acclimate to our culture. Because my aunt was a foreign service officer. She did it, and so I know what that's like. And but anyways, I found out that he was super religious. He told me about this priest that he was misunderstood in the Philippines, had to flee to Brazil, Sao Paulo, where Aunt Sigrid lived for many years, and then he followed him all the way to Sao Paulo. Anyways, he was super religious, and so when I talked about homosexual, he's like, "Oh, man with men? Yes, man with men. Oh, Bible says sin. Oh, we're done with the date." Yeah. So that was really, I was just like, ugh, and I was mad at myself because I knew from the first phone call that it wasn't going to go anywhere because I don't fall in love with people with their looks. I mean, trust me, all my friends are like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to see who Johanna's going to bring today," because it's about the person. It really is. So if there is nothing going on up there that I can relate to or latch onto, I'm out. I am out. And so I was done with him. But I was kind of mad because I'm just like, now at first I thought I could get like a loophole because this is why I wanted him to tell me why he came to this country and all this stuff. Because I thought if they have set me up with somebody that's looking for the green card or the visa or whatever, I might be pretty damn fucking pissed, right? But he wasn't. His company sponsored him, all of this stuff. He was very smart. I think he was like an engineer or something.
Yeah.
They're very good at what he specialized. I don't know if it's clean rooms. Was it clean rooms? I don't know. It was very high techy.
It was computer chips.
Oh, okay, computer chips. Okay, but it was very high techy what he did, and the company sponsored him, and it was hats off to this company. It's an amazing company that he worked for, and yeah. So, and he wanted to. I can even tell you that he wanted to take me bowling, and the way I got out of it, I was wearing my flip flops. I'm like, oh, so sorry, no socks. My flip flops. Yeah, sorry. So I didn't want to go bowling with him. But anyway, so that was it, and I learned my lesson. Right? Okay. This is not, as my aunt says, the unwashed masses of the general public on the online dating. This is costing me money. This was a strike. Me not wanting to be the stuck up American and give this guy a chance cost me fucking money. Yeah, it was a strike. And so I was like, fuck. So, okay. All right. So then I didn't hear anything from the matchmaker. Nothing. Dead silence. I mean, kind of like the guys I date. A couple days gone. They disappear. Where do they go to? Some hole or something? Gone. Disappeared. Didn't hear anything from her. Then I get a phone call from this girl, not my matchmaker, Vanessa. I get a phone call from this woman named I don't know, Adriana, I don't know. Anyway, and she's like, I am so sorry. We had to fire Vanessa. She was mishandled. And so I'm like, oh my God. And so I get all this stuff. And I told her my fuck up and I'm sorry. This sounds so horrible to say, but it's because my dad taught a lot of these classes. I told her about my ESLer guy. My dad taught ESL classes a lot. He taught English to a lot of Spanish speakers in Colombia. He did. So that's why I get the term ESLer. So I told her all about my ESL date, and she's like, I'm so sorry. I will give you, and she gave me another chance. I got my credit back. So I'm like, woohoo, it didn't count. Okay, I learned from it. We got 3 more guys. Okay, this is great. All right. So let's now go to, so I was all happy. I was all excited. I was ready. So now let's get to Ariana, I don't know your name. I'm sorry. It's probably better I don't say your name on here. Let's get to who she found, and let's talk about that second date. Okay, so now my new matchmaker, here I'm starting again back at square one, and God, here we now, I signed up in the beginning of June, and now we are in August, and I've gone on 1 date. And so she calls me and she tells me about this guy, right? And because I already talked to her about how the 2 most important, these are the 2 most importante things to me, okay? They are good conversation, okay? Good conversation, good conversational skills, being able to think in lots of different levels. Not everybody can do that. It's very difficult. And good hygiene, okay? I am very, very sensitive to smell, okay? And I have dated some people, hell, I even lived with the guy, yuck, who don't shower every day. I do not understand what this is, okay? I need to be with someone that showers every day. I know that sounds ridiculous, but yeah, you need to shower every day. I mean, God, who remembers the Johanna Banana episode when I was talking about Sponge Bobby? Okay, and I had to get all sexy and make him take a shower with me. Yeah, again, not happening. Okay, so she tells me all this stuff. First, she's like building this whole thing up. She's like, you're gonna really like this guy. What he wants, you want, and he's really good. When I talk to him on the phone, it's like talking to you on the phone. The conversation is really, really good, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Oh, this is awesome. But he's older, and I'm like, whatever, I can do older. What are you talking? Older? Who cares? Older, and she says he's a lot older, and I'm like, okay, what? I'm assuming she's going to say 60. I'm assuming she's going to say 59 or 60. That's what I'm assuming. I'm sorry, I got to turn off my phone again. I'm assuming she's going to say 59 or 60 or something, right? Right? I'm like, okay, tell me, what's the number? 67. And I say to her, well, hold on, 6, 7? I even say it like to her like that. You mean 6, 7? And she says, yes, 67. And I'm like, she's like, do you want to think about it? And I'm like, yeah, because I'm thinking, holy crap, that is 21 freaking years. That's a whole person. That's an adult, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't know about this. And she's like, you want to think about it? I'm like, yeah, let's think about it. And she's like, well, let me just tell you more about him. And I'm like, okay, all right, tell me more about him. All right. So she starts telling me more about him. He's retired, obviously, right? Now here's another strike against him, because I don't just go off of one strike. He lived all the way out in Maricopa. I'm like, oh, okay. But here's what got me. He had been married for like 20 plus years. So I'm like, okay, cool. Your house broken. He had children. I'm like, okay, cool. We can share that life experience. He had grandchildren. I'm like, okay, good. But here's what got me. You see, here's what got me. He was half black, half Chinese. Yeah, yeah. He was biracial. How flippin' cool is that, right? Because that's kind of what I feel like minorities, but I know this sounds very racist and whatever. I just feel like I want someone to have more depth. I really do. And so I was like, okay, all right, so when she told me that he was like half Chinese and half black, I'm like, I'm there. Like, I didn't even think about it. I'm just like, I'm there. That's what I want. That's home. That's the Bay Area. That's the melting pot I grew up in. Hello. And he was from California too. He was from LA. So, yeah, he grew up in Compton, Serena and Venus Williams. So I'm like, hello, this is my man. Okay. This is what I'm talking about, right? And so I was all excited about it. And anyways, so we talk. The first night we talk on the phone is really good. Like, his energy, I mean, it's obviously not as high as mine. Nobody can, but it's really good. He's like, I'm telling him, I gave him my disclaimer, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm fine, some of my family members are gay, no big deal, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, and so I'm thinking it's good. And he's like, I can't wait to learn about you. And you're going to learn about me. And I thought, yes. Okay. He gets that we want to build this relationship. This is really good. I'm really grateful that he knows what a relationship give and take. He's like, you want to travel? Oh yeah. That's another thing that got me about him. He was a retired airplane mechanic for United Airlines. Aiden's so into flipping planes. I'm like, this is so meant to be, right? That's me. I'm a fairy tale thinker still. I know, I'm trying to get wiser. And so I thought, okay, this is amazing, right? And what I found out is he can fly free on United Airlines all over the world because he worked for them for like 30 years. And I'm like, that's amazing. We could travel, because I'm looking for someone that I can travel with, have fun with, and he seemed really secure and everything was great, right? And so those first two phone conversations, because he called me every night, because that's how I fall in love with these guys, is they call me every night and have great conversations. And so he called me every night. So the first 2 nights were really good, right? But here's the thing, and this is something that I know is partly why I'm still single. I go on and on and on, and a lot of guys, they will put up with it. They will, Aiden. They put up with your mother talking and talking and talking, because they're like, yeah, it's going to be worth it. Yeah, it's going to be worth it because I'm going to fucking bang her. It'll be worth it. Okay, let's keep blah, blah. But here's what the thing is. I don't stop, okay? And they can't keep up with it. They get tired of it. So the first 2 phone calls were fabulous, and then after that, he started to just kind of like dwindle away, because he was just like, damn, this girl's mind never shuts the fuck off, and she just talks and talks and talks. Not about stuff I want to talk about. It's all about herself and other things, and about relationships and families. She keeps asking about my exes, and a lot of guys hate this, and I get this. I totally get this. This is probably why I am still single, but this is who I am, okay? And so I I don't want to have to tone it down for anybody, and I shouldn't, because I'm trying to be in a healthy relationship. And being in a healthy relationship is having that person accept you for who you are, rambling, babbling on, right? But he still wanted to meet me, right? Okay. So, and he also, the one thing that really did get him excited was the fact that I was so physical. He loved it when I talked about going to the gym, because he goes to the gym all the time. And he's like, oh, that's good. She works out. Well, you want to know why he was so excited about me working out and going to the gym? Weight. Guys and their fucking goddamn fucking weight. I'm so sick of this. So, of course, every guy, I love you guys. You don't go, the guys will never flat out ask you your weight, Aiden. They won't ever say, how much do you weigh, right? First, they ask you your height. Yes, that's how they do it. They go, your height. And so then the height. And then they try to guess how much you weigh, so that in which then you will correct them and they'll get the exact weight. It's a stupid game. It's a fucking stupid game. And I hate the fact that men do this. Women do this game too with jobs. And I did it too. What do you do for a living? I do this, blah, 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 blah. What do you do? Because we want to know about the money. Because we're tired of fucking supporting your asses. So we all do these stupid games. I don't want to ever say that, anybody's a fucking saint, because we're not. So anyways, so he tells me about this, and he's like, I guess you probably you look pretty skinny, so I'm thinking you probably weigh like 130. And I'm like, I think I weigh like 135. I don't know, because I hadn't weighed myself in a while, And so anyway, so the next morning, because I wanted to see, I'm trying to test these guys, because I'm so sick of these guys and weight, I don't give a damn what a guy weighs. I really fucking don't. So anyway, so I get on the scale and I weigh myself. And Aiden posts a picture right now. Aiden's going to post a picture of me weighing myself in the morning for this guy, knowing that this is so fucked up and wrong. But I'm curious. I want to see what his response is. So post this picture, Aiden.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That timestamp.
Okay. All right. So when he got, and I texted him that picture in the morning, and you know what he said? This was his response, because this is another reason I like to test people. I don't fight with these guys. Aiden says I'm like the car accident that you never see coming. I just let them dig their own grave, and then I walk away. The gardener, sorry. Anyways, so I sent him this text message, and his response back was, Oh, looks like those pot candy bars are doing the trick there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't want you to get any bigger. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm just like, ugh. And I probably shouldn't have even met with him then. I probably shouldn't. But you see, I'm learning. Okay. There are degrees of desperation. Okay. There are. Okay. I'm kind of desperate, but I'm not that desperate. I'm still trying to explore things, but I don't want to settle. So I should have just said no, but I still thought, well, the thing is, you get used to it. That's the problem, Aiden. I've gotten used to being treated like shit by these fucking men, that at the time I didn't really let a lot. I kind of let it go, and I still met with him. Hindsight, looking back, I probably shouldn't have met with him after that. I probably shouldn't. But I met with him, right? So we went to go see this movie, and Aiden's going to post the clip that I'm talking about after this date.
Okay, guys, I was trying to be really like PC about, my date, and I'm trying to keep my love life private. I really am. But if it's not going well, then of course I'm going to fucking share, because who cares? This person isn't in my life anymore, so it really doesn't matter. Anyways, I just told my matchmaker to start back at square one. But luckily, I still have 2 more guys left. At the end of this date that I went on last night, or yesterday afternoon, it was, let me recommend. First, hold up. Let's stay positive. Trap with Josh Hartnett, Haley Mills, really, really good movie. Totally recommend it to you guys. But at the end of my movie and Hawaiian pizza, that was fabulous. That was great too. I got the feeling with this gentleman, and it was huge. It was a 21 years. He was 21 years older than me. Here I was talking about going younger, right? And I find this guy I didn't find this guy. I shouldn't say. I'm not allowed to find guys for myself. My matchmaker found this guy that was like 67 years old, But, I was letting that go. I really was, because I jived with him. Our conversation was good. But here's the thing. At the end of the date, I felt like I can't get fat and Aiden can't have a boyfriend. That's how I felt. I'm going to share on Johanna Banana when I get a moment, but that's how I felt. Like, I can't gain a pound, which could happen. I was a chunky monkey girl. It's diarrhea and grief that made me this way. Or Aiden can never have a boyfriend because he's okay with girls doing PDA in public, but not with boys. And I have a gay son, so yeah, so sad. I know, I'm just like so discouraged, but you see, I'm not that desperate, okay, people? Yeah, I want a boyfriend, but I'm not that fucking desperate.
Yeah, so basically, that's how I felt after the date. We were sitting at this lunch. The movie was great. We were sitting at this lunch thing. This I could not believe this, but I'm like, okay, fate, whatever, comes in. This lesbian couple comes in, and he's just like looking at them, and he's just like, that's cool. And then when he said, he's like, but I'm not okay with men showing PDA. I'm just like, yeah. So that was my date. I basically left the date with this guy thinking, I can't gain a pound. Aiden can't get a boyfriend. If that's the feeling that I got from that date, I shouldn't date that person. So the next day, or no, he didn't call me for a couple days. Yeah, because here's another thing. This is another thing that I'm finding in a generational thing. Men that are a lot older than you, like in a whole different generation, I'm talking about 15 to 20 years plus. If you tell them, hey, call me, or hey, do this, they're like, a woman is not about to tell me to call her. They don't like that. And that's where I have kind of like one of my friends said, I am the dick, I am the pee-pee. And I kind of have become the pee-pee and the dick because I'm so sick of people not taking the initiative. I'm so sick of guys not calling you back. I'm so sick of that shit. So yeah, and I'm fearless and not shy, so I will fucking say it. And it's a turnoff to some of these older men because, well, women have their place, right? It is not women's place. Like, you should have seen Aiden. You should have seen me grabbing for the door, and he was grabbing for the door. I'm like, God, I really am the fucking dick. And I am because I've been dating a lot of men, little kids, child, like the child that I just dated. I've been the mother and for so many of these guys that, yeah, I have become the guy because I don't date men. But anyway, so because I asked him to call me, he didn't call me for 2 days. He got all pissy. He didn't call me for 2 days, and then he finally called me for 2 days, and I'm like, yep. I totally shocked him. I'm like, yep, gotta be upfront honest, not feeling it with you. We can still be friends. And he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, because another thing that he mentioned that totally pissed me off was the fact that he's like, oh, I'm so glad you don't have wrinkles. All the matchmakers set me up with was all these ladies that have wrinkles. Well, hello, fucker. Because they're your age. That's why. Yeah, so I was only sitting there because I was 21. It wasn't me as a person. I was just sitting there because I hadn't wrinkled yet. That was the only reason I was on the date. Yeah. So it was horrible. It was terrible. And I learned from it. And see, I am not that desperate. Yes, I keep giving these people chances when I shouldn't. But I don't latch onto them. I don't. So that was terrible. And I have never heard from that guy again. Okay, so after all of those two terrible dates with the matchmaker, and it was like, and I was getting so discouraged and so stressed out and all of this stuff, right? I then decided to do, because you know me, I'm always a restless spirit. I'm never like not thinking about things and analyzing things. And so I thought, you know what? Okay, all right. I'm not really happy with this matchmaker. Now this matchmaker doesn't expire. I have a lifetime membership with this matchmaker, okay? Which Aiden constantly reminds me there's no rush with this matchmaker. Okay. So I decided, but I still know that I cannot pick my guy by myself. I'm not good at that, right? So I decided I'm going to go online. I decided to get my own matchmaker, one I don't have to pay for. One person that has a lot of experience with love and dating and things like that. And I decided to go with somebody that's actually in a healthy relationship. She is. She's been with this guy for like 7 years. That they live together. They're very happy, healthy relationship. She can count on him. That kind of thing. He's her best friend, and that's what I'm looking for, because I'm looking for my best friend and my lover. I really am. And so I decided to go to her to help me. So yes, I went back online. It's so hard for me to meet people organically. I wish I could meet people organically. I tried to ask some people to set me up with some people. That didn't work. I work with all women. I don't go to bars. I don't go to clubs. So it's so hard not to go back online. So I went back online, but not by myself. Okay. I went back online with a good matchmaker, somebody that really knows her stuff and can help me. And so she's helped me. I've gone on a couple. I went on a couple dates, and they did not go well. They weren't great, but they didn't go well. As far as the future, I mean, they were great dates. They were really nice guys. I just didn't see a long-term future with them, as I discussed it. So after I go on these dates, I discuss it with my matchmaker friend, and she helps me kind of see the bigger picture. Like, she did not want me to go on a date with that old guy, because she's like, he's going to be dead and you're going to be like 60. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, that's horrible. She saw that it wasn't going to be for the future. And so I thought, okay. Anyways, so that's what I'm doing now. And I would like to announce, but I'm keeping it private, which I know is very difficult for me because I am a total TMIer. I tell everything, and I'm such an open book. But I'm trying to change things up with my dating, because obviously it hasn't worked. I'm still single after 14 years, and after 14 years, my longest relationship was like a year back when Aiden was like 6. So I've decided I've got to change things up, right? And so I am dating someone now, and I'm happy, and I'm keeping it private, and for the first time in my whole life, because yeah, I feel like the only people that should really know about my dating life is Aiden and my aunt, because I'm very close to my aunt. And of course my matchmaker, she's in the loop, and she knows the situation. She did want me to date a bunch of guys. I cannot date a bunch. I don't want to say that I haven't. I have dated a bunch of guys at one time. It's not for me. I am relationship driven, obviously. I am not like a quick, easy, fun hookup kind of person. So I decided I'm just going to date this one guy. I put the matchmaker on hold. Yeah, I know. I might be out some money, I guess. I don't know. I don't care right now. I'll deal with that matchmaker later. But I'm happy, because that's all anybody wants, is just to be fucking happy. I mean, why do we go to therapy? Why do we ask friends for advice? Why do we constantly do this and do that? Because all we're trying to do is be fucking happy. That's it. So when I finally just broke it down, was like, you know what? I want to be fucking happy. I just do. And maybe the matchmaker didn't work out, and maybe I lost out on money. I don't know. I'll get to that. But I just want to be fucking happy. That's all. I want to be happy. And I'm sorry. I am not a successfully single person like my aunt or my cousin with the pool. Hats off to you guys. Like, you guys are flipping amazing that you don't want a guy, that you're totally content and happy on your own. And I try to do that. Trust me. I mean, Aiden's known I've done that. I think the longest I lasted was 2 years. Just no guys, nothing, just I mean, why do I have so many damn girlfriends? Why? Because I had no guys half the freaking time. That's why I built up so many fucking friends. But I finally have decided that I do definitely want a guy. I want an equal partner. I want that give and take. I want him to be an adult. I want him to, help me at one moment, I'm helping him at another moment. We're good friends. I want to be the same person. Because I've observed so much. I've observed healthy relationships, like the people we stayed with, Aiden, in Pacific Grove. Oh my God, fabulous healthy relationship. Deadhead Tina. Oh my God, you and your husband, fabulous relationship. I've seen other people in awful relationships, and I think, geez, why the fuck are you still with this guy? They can't even act like themselves when they walk in the room. They're like, or, oh, I can't do that around so and so. Oh, so I don't ever want to be like that. And so what finally clicked for me was the fact that, okay, I want to be in a healthy relationship, okay? But I have to realize that I may not get that. So I would rather be alone than to be in a toxic relationship. That was one thing that was the big epiphany that finally hit me, because I was just getting so mad at all these girls being like, oh, you don't want a boyfriend. And you don't need a boyfriend, Johanna. You just want a boyfriend. Oh, you want to be supported. Oh, you need to work on yourself. I was getting so sick of that shit from everybody. Everybody and their mother was saying all this stuff. Read this stuff. No. You know what? I do. I want a boyfriend. I do. But I also want to be in a healthy relationship. So I am not willing to settle. If I'm not in a healthy relationship, I will get out of it. Because my biggest fear for a long time was not being with somebody. Like, I was so afraid to go to like Aiden's wedding without anybody. Hell, I was afraid to go to your wedding, Sydney. You're going to get married. I know you are. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go out by myself, right? That was my biggest fear. But you know what? My biggest fear is being in an unhealthy relationship, being unhappy, like fighting with that person all the time, not being on the same page with that person, having to hide things or mannerisms. That's 10 times worse than just being alone. So when I finally had that epiphany and finally realized that, I was like, okay. And then when I made that decision, that's when I met this wonderful guy. So I'm thinking that maybe I just had to make that decision to be like, yeah, okay, all right, it's worse to be in an unhealthy relationship and to be miserable. So what, you got a guy, but are you happy? You're crying, you're fighting, you're hiding things. I've been there, done that. I don't ever want to do that again. I never want to be that person ever again. And yeah, so I think that was a real breakthrough for me. It really was. And I think that it's incredible. So that was my big epiphany. The other big epiphany that I had was about men. I went through that whole social experiment about how men can men actually have a platonic friendship with a woman. And I finally realized that there are men that can have a platonic friendship with a woman. Those are the good guys. Those are the guys that see us as an equal. Yeah, they don't see us as a hole that they're gonna fall into, right? They don't. I had one guy say it's a slippery slope. Well, why is it slippery? Because you can't keep your pee-pee in check. Is that why it's a slippery slope? Maybe, I don't know. But so the guys that can have platonic friendship with women and see women as an equal, those are the good guys. Yes. The guys that are so worried about what you weigh, what you're wearing, that's sort of how I've interviewed guys like, oh, how she acted in public. Those are loser guys that see us girls, as an extension of themselves. That's why they want us to look good, like they're fucking Ferrari in the driveway. We are no better to them than a fucking Ferrari in the driveway. Yeah, so I learned that too. So I have finally learned some key things that separated some of the guys that I want to be with and the guys that I don't want to be with. I cannot believe it's taken me that long. I'm 46 years old and I finally realized why some guys can't be friends with women. I know it sounds silly that it's taking me this long to realize it, but it really has. And now I finally realize why some men don't like it when you gain weight. So I learned that too. Anyways, okay. So we are going to wrap up Johanna Banana. I want to wrap up Johanna Banana with a shout out to my cousin, okay? I had mentioned the lady that I stayed with. She's a writer. My cousin, Griffin, has written a book that my aunt helped him with as far as getting our family history. And so, Aiden, let us post a video clip because Whippy, I'm just going to let Whippy talk about this. Whippy on The View, she talked about my cousin's book. So we're going to post this clip about my cousin's book now.
Okay, so check this out, guys. All right, I'm going to be promoting one of my cousin's books, okay? I have a cousin. His name is Griffin Dunn. And, well, he's an actor, but he just wrote a book about his family, our family. It's interesting. Anyways, it's on The View. So I just want to show this. We're going to flip the camera here.
Called The Friday Afternoon Club by Griffin Dunn.
This is
actor,
Griffin there as a kid.
Like
Griffin as a kid. My cousin Alex.
He's the corpse that keeps coming back.
Yeah.
He's also the son of former investigative reporter Dominic Dunn,
Yeah.
who worked for Vanity Fair, among other places. It's at its heart, it's a memoir. This
guy Nick
amazing.
married
And
my first cousin.
because it's about his family. It includes also the death of his sister Dominique Dunn,
Yeah.
who you may remember as the older sister in Poltergeist. And it talks about her murder, which changed his family forever.
Awful.
And what's wonderful is that Griffin narrates this audiobook himself, which makes it extremely powerful, funny, and very loving. Now,
Yeah, so you guys should check out the book. I just downloaded this book on Audibles because Griffin does narrate it. He is sending me a signed copy. Yes, he's sending me a signed copy of this book. My aunt has already read this book, but I'm going to check out this book because I was talking to my aunt and she says I need to stop focusing on getting a boyfriend and get a hobby. Yeah, can you believe this? I guess I need to get a hobby other than my friends and work, right? So my new hobby is going to be Audible books. I'm going to start with my cousin Griffin's books, but don't worry, people. I'm going to go to some of the self-help books, How Not to Live Alone, because I do have to accept the fact that I may not find, I hate this glare, I may not find the person I'm looking for. I know exactly what I'm looking for. I'm not willing to settle. If I was willing to settle, I wouldn't be single right now, right? Hello, there are degrees of desperation. I am not that fucking desperate. But I do need to come to terms with the fact that I might not find my person, and then that will be okay too. I need to come to terms with that, and so I'm going to work on that. Why my matchmaker is trying to find me a guy, I don't know. She did say it could take up to a year. So we're just going to keep our fingers crossed, keep praying, but I need a hobby, and I'm going to go to these Audible books. So check out my cousin's book, or check out some other books. The next book I'm going to read, one of my good friends, we'll call her Brell. Remember my good friend Brell, my game friend? She said to read this book that says, "You are not going to die alone." Yeah, so I got to read that book too. But yeah, I think I do need a hobby. Yeah, I think I do.
Okay. All right. So it's a really, now Aiden and I are listening to, because, I am not a reader. I am not like my father at all. I think Aunt Secret's read this book already 3 times. She's a reader just like my dad. I think she probably read the whole thing in one sitting.
Sure.
Yeah, she probably did. But, and of course, she has an autographed copy. Griffin wrote to her, autographed copy. But we're halfway through the Audible book. For those of you, for my familia, my family, please listen to the Audible, because when Griffin, my cousin Griffin, does the voice of his father, Nick, I swear to God, the first time he did the voice of his father, I felt like his father, Nick, was right there. I felt like I was 15 years old again. And there is Nick Dunn, the writer for Vanity Fair, right there chatting with me and Aunt Secret. It's incredible. So people, please listen to the audio too. I have a lot of people that read. You're going to read the book, but check it out. It's a really good book, and it's really interesting about our family. It really is. And it's about his life. And it's an interesting life. He and his family lived a really, really interesting life. And of course, he does talk about his late sister Dominique in there as well. And I wish I would have known her. I really do. Okay, so we're going to end on a sad note. Deadhead Tina. Oh my God, girl, I am so sorry. When I saw that your dog Willie passed away, that just broke my heart, because you're like me and you feel things strongly and you wear your heart on your sleeve, and I knew that affected you, and so that's why we put that slideshow together. So for everybody that's watching Johanna Banana on my YouTube channel, please check out Willie's slideshow. That was Deadhead Tina's dog, and I just want to thank you. Oh my God, this is a great card. Look how cute this card is, guys. Yeah. She was thanking, I know, Deadhead Tina, you were so damn polite. She sent me this wonderful thank you card about the video that Aiden and I did about Willie, her dog that passed away. Such a sweetheart. And then I just, one of your husband's childhood friends passed away. I mean, it's like they say bad thing comes in threes. You have gone through a lot these past couple of weeks, Deadhead Tina, and I'm so sorry about that. But Aiden and I love you so much. All right, Aiden, come back here. Please say goodbye to everybody. Yes. Oh, yeah, this will be the last episode of Johanna Banana because we are going to, we're going to keep these episodes on for, 2 more weeks, and I'm going to take them off, and we're going to revamp Johanna Banana. I'm going to do it a different way. I want to become YouTube famous, and this reminded me, this is why Aiden's back. Aiden is now a YouTuber, everybody. Oh, Aiden also got his GED. Okay.
You're really listing that second?
Yes. Oh, the GED? Okay, you're right. Okay, you're right. Okay. See what a social media junkie I am? Yeah, what did I go to first? Social media. Not the fact that you got an education. Okay. What a wonderful mother I am. Okay, yes. All right. So, yes, Aiden now has received his GED. Yes. He got his GED. Fabulous. And now you are a YouTuber, so we're going to post a picture of his YouTube channel. Please subscribe, guys. He is now getting paid for this. And so because he's getting paid for this, I decided, I know, not a lot, Aiden. I'm not saying that you're a multimillionaire. He doesn't want me to get excited about the pay because it's like microscopic.
It is.
It's very microscopic.
I made $20.
He's made like $20. It's like so microscopic. But it got me thinking, Aiden, I want to revamp Johanna Banana. I want to make it more generalization, just about the things, observing things that I've learned, like how some guys view us women as a whole, they fall into it, and that sort of thing. And so we're going to revamp Johanna Banana once my life kind of settles down, and do that. But anyways, thank you all for watching this episode of Johanna Banana. Please subscribe to Aiden's channel, the Mercury Glider there. It's about the weather, because that's what Aiden wants to get into, the weather. And yeah, so thank you for watching Johanna Banana.